Start.
Okay, now we will continue with the memory module. Now, if you see there is a diagram. We have several memory different types of memory we have already discussed. Flash, these most of these memory we have already seen in the computer organization subject, but there are few more new to us. But we will glance through each and every one. So we have flash memory, ROM, NVRAM. This is one more memory. And coming to different types of other types of ROM called as ROM, one-time programming, and masked ROM, MROM, EPROM, EEPROM. So it mainly differs based upon the fabrication, erasing, and programming techniques. So let us go to the next slide. So we'll start from MROM. What is this masked ROM? So it is one-time programmable memory. This uses hardwire technology. So this part of ROM we have not come across still. We have not come across because this particular MROM is mainly, it is meant for program. It is programmed by masking. So this primary advantage of MROM is low cost and it produces high volume of production. It is widely used in mass production and they are least expensive type. So where these MROMs are available? To be frank, MROMs are widely used in network operating system and server operating system. So these two things are new to us. We are coming across now. Masked ROM mainly they are used for network operating system and server operating system. And this masked ROM is mainly used for masking while manufacturing itself. Masking is nothing but you're writing it, you're burning it. So let us see what is the mechanism used. So there are many mechanisms that are used for masking process of this ROM. One such is integrated circuits are masked during the design phase of the semiconductor fabrication process. Means they are masked during the design phase itself. That is before, when they are designing the circuit itself, they are going to write down the values. So before it goes for the final manufacturing, when they are designing itself, they are going to write 0 or 1. So this particular thing is this technology, whatever they are using, it is helping them to go for mass production, and it is very much cheaper when compared to other ROM. So as I said, its applications are mainly used for network operating system and server operating system. So they are widely used for those domains. So the limitations with MROM based firmware storage is the inability to modify. As I already said, once it is programmed, once the memory is programmed and it is given to the customers, they cannot rewrite. So whenever there is any upgrades, we cannot modify that because MROM is permanent in bit storage and it is not possible to alter the bit information. So now let's go to the next slide. Now let us go to PROM, programmable read-only memory. So PROM we have already come across this. Unlike MROM, it is not pre-programmed by the manufacturer. In case of MROM, it was pre-programmed and it was given, but here PROM, it is not pre-programmed. And PROM has nichrome or polysilicon wires arranged in matrix, and this is the type of wires they are going to use for functionally viewed as fuses. Means these two wires are widely used in the matrix form, and you can remember the PROM diagrams that we had fuses in between. So we were writing it when it is given to the user. So it is programmed by PROM programmer, which selectively burns the fuses according to the bit pattern. Means prompts are available to the programmer and the programmer will burn it as per his requirement. There the manufacturers were burning, but here the programmers were burning. Wherever it is required, they were writing the data. So now let us see the technology used in PROM. So if you see, fuses which are not blown represent logic 1. Since if you don't write anything, it is considered as logic 1. But whenever you are writing anything, that is when the fuses are represent logic 0. So when you don't write anything, it is 1. But if you are writing, it is 0. Means everything will be available in the form of 1. Wherever you are writing, it is 0. That particular fuse, the bit value will be 0. So the default state is 1. So by default, the manufacturer will give you, and that will be in terms of 1. But when you write it, it becomes 0. It is widely used for commercial production of embedded systems whose prototype versions are proven and code is finalized. Again, it is low-cost solution for commercial production and cannot be reprogrammed. So once it is done, it is done. But once the programmer does it, it cannot be reprogrammed once again. So now let us go to the next slide. So next one is the EEPROM, Erasable Programmable Read-Only Memory. It gives the flexibility to reprogram the same chip. EEPROM stores the bit information by charging the floating gate of an PEC. So this is the gate they are using. PEC is the gate they are using. Bit information is stored by using EEPROM, which applies high voltage to charge the floating point gate. Even EEPROM we have come across. You can remember EEPROM we can erase it as many times as we want. EEPROM contains a quartz crystal window for erasing the stored information. So that IC will have a small crystal window, and that window should be exposed to ultraviolet rays for a fixed duration. So the only thing is, if you do that, the entire memory will be erased. In EEPROM, it is possible to erase, but the problem is when you're exposing it to the ultraviolet rays, it gets erased. Completely, it gets erased. Even though the EEPROM chip is flexible in terms of reprogrammability, means I can reprogram how many times I want. I can erase it as many times I want. The problem is it needs to be taken out of the circuit board. Means the chip is present in a particular board. So in that case, that particular chip should be taken out from that board. You have put that in a particular board of an embedded system. It could be a washing machine or oven. In this case, what you have to do, you have to take that chip from the board and you have to place it in the other PCB which supports this entire mechanism. And then you have to pass the UV rays to erase it. So for 20 to 30 minutes. So that is the problem. That is, while reprogramming, you have to take that particular IC from the board. This is the drawback of EEPROM. So now let us go to the next slide. EEPROM. So EEPROM is erasable programmable read-only memory, gives the flexibility to reprogram the same chip using electrical signals. Means I need not have to take out that particular chip from the board. I can reprogram there itself. The information contained in the EEPROM can be altered using electrical signals at the byte level. They can be erased and reprogrammed within the circuit. This is the advantage. I can reprogramming in the same circuit. I need not have to take out it from the original board. These chips include a chip erase mode, and in this mode they can be erased in a few milliseconds. So this is the flexibility the EEPROM is giving, and it provides a greater flexibility for system design. The only limitation is the capacity. So when compared to the other ROM, EEPROM has got a limited capacity. So this is the features of EEPROM. So let's go to the next slide. Coming to the flash memory. The flash memory, this also we have seen in the subject, computer organization. Flash memory is widely used in our mobile, and it is a variation of EEPROM technology. Means it has got all the features of EEPROM. It combines, but it provides, you can store large volumes of data when compared to EEPROM. It combines the reprogrammability of EEPROM, means you can reprogram, and the high capacity of ROM. So as I said, it is a combination of both. Flash memory is organized as sectors or pages. It is the way the memory is organized, divided into several sectors or pages. And the transistors used here in flash memory is MOSFET. And the erasing of memory can be done at sector level or page level. So the memories are divided into different pages and then further to different sectors. So you can erase it at the sector level or at the pages level. Each sector or page should be erased before reprogramming. So before reprogramming, you have to erase it completely, the previous data. So now let's go to the next slide. Coming to RAM. So RAM, random access memory. So RAM is a volatile memory. All of you know, when the power is turned off, the data will get destroyed. So we can access the desired memory location directly without the need of traversing through the entire memory location. So RAM has got a direct access. Directly with the memory, you can access the data and you not have to scroll down every memory location. So given the address, I can go to that particular point immediately. So if you see the different types of RAM we are going to study, SRAM, DRAM, NVRAM. We know this SRAM and DRAM, NVRAM is new. So let us go through that. Coming to the SRAM. What is SRAM? Static RAM. So static RAM stores data in the form of voltages. They are made up of flip-flops. I hope you can remember in the last semester we discussed SRAM, static RAMs are built with 6 transistors, and the 4 transistors are used for building the latch part of the memory cell and 2 for controlling the access. I hope you remember D and D dash. So the same thing SRAM concept is using. So SRAM is the fastest form of RAM. It is very fast, and SRAM is fast in operation due to its resistive networking and switching capability. So this we had studied extensively in the computer organization subject. So SRAM has got all these features. It is built upon 6 transistors, and made up of only transistors, so it is very fast. Accessing is very fast. So now let's go to the next topic, that is DRAM. What is DRAM? Dynamic RAM. It stores the data in the form of charge. They are made up of transistor gates. Along with that, they are also made up of capacitors. The advantages of DRAMs are its high density and low cost because of this flexibility. The disadvantage is that since the information is stored as charge, it gets leaked off. As I said, DRAMs, dynamic RAMs, are built upon the transistors and capacitors. So you have to keep on charging the data. One advantage is that it has got low cost, so widely you can use it for mass production. The drawback is it gets leaked. Whatever the charge is there, it gets leaked. So we have to recharge again and again. So this you have to keep a refreshing circuit for that periodically. So now let's go to the next slide. So we'll consolidate the difference between SRAM and DRAM. So the first difference is SRAMs are made up of 6 CMOS transistors, DRAM is made up of MOSFET and a capacitor. So that makes the difference. SRAM doesn't require refreshing because it doesn't have capacitors. DRAM requires refreshing. SRAM is a low capacity, means it cannot hold larger data, whereas DRAM can hold high capacity of data. And SRAMs are more expensive because of its technology use, and DRAMs, they are less expensive, again it's because of the technology used. In case of SRAM, it is fast in operation. Access time is 10 nanoseconds. You can think in case of DRAM, it is very slow and the access time is 60 nanoseconds. Comparatively, it takes more time. So write operation is faster than read operation in case of DRAM. So let's go to the next slide. Now coming to the another type of memory called as NVRAM, non-volatile RAM. So RAM is actually volatile, but still you're going to give a battery backup. So random access memory with battery backup is called as non-volatile RAM. It contains static RAM-based memory and a minute battery. It has got a small battery. The chip will be provided with a battery backup for providing supply to the memory in the absence of external power supply. Because there is a failure, this particular battery provides a battery backup for few minutes so that it can store and it cannot abruptly come out. The memory and the battery are packed together in a single package. Both are put in a single package. NVRAM is used for non-volatile storage of results of operation or for setting up flags, etc. Widely used for setting the flags. The lifespan of NVRAM is expected to be 10 years. It will stay long. And the company that comes with this NVRAM is DS1744 from Dallas. It is an example for 32 KB NVRAM.